Hey everybody, how's it going? Tooth here, 29 Jan of 25. So I was kind of sitting here thinking about it, looking at some of the stuff I wrote down from this weekend from the Larping event that I was at and all that fun stuff. One of the things I'm going to go ahead and start off with, there was a lot of time constraints on the day we planned to do everything. So some stuff got skipped and went over and everything else. So first thing we're going to cover, cold weather stuff. So Friday, when I went up with a couple of other guys to start get stuff set up and everything, we get on ground. It's 40 degrees. Temp at night got down to 20 degrees. So yeah, I'd put on some warming layers and stuff like that. Then we roll into Saturday and all that good stuff and get everybody round up, get ready to go do all our fun stuff and everything like that. We're going to kind of talk about warming layers in the cold real quick and moving around and all of that other stuff. So Saturday, when we stepped off around 2 o'clock, when we were supposed to step off around 1 o'clock at the latest, it warmed up. It wasn't all that cold, to be 100% honest with you. High 40s, low 50s. So for guys, one of the things, we had some guys that stepped off with us and they didn't downgrade like I did. I'm not going to lie to you. When I was around camp, we had a pretty decent breeze, wind going through there. And with just a uniform top on and a pair of pants and stuff like that, that wind was, especially when the wind hit, it was definitely cool. But when we got ready to step off and cover the terrain we were covering, I drifted off over to my little camp area I had set up, pulled the poly top off with the silky bottoms off in my wet weather bag and stuffed them in there because the guys that didn't, they didn't fare too well. Due to time constraints, we didn't really get to slow down a whole lot for them to downgrade. And finally got to a point where we just had to stop what we were doing so they could downgrade. And then one of them didn't even bring a backpack, so he got stuck stuffing this thing into some way to carry it, and it was just made his life very, very miserable. So it's kind of like one of them things, lessons learned for people that don't get out and do this stuff. Like I said, sometimes you can just get people out in the woods to go LARPing or something along those lines, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I had fun LARPing. I never really done it a whole lot before, but I mean, it's pretty good PT. Got me out in the woods, got me someplace I like to be. Probably something I'll start looking, doing some more and all that good stuff. But like I said, best piece of advice I can give you on this, if you're going to go LARPing, doing the Milsim West type stuff, or especially if you're going to go do hunting, cold weather hunting, deer season, duck hunting, not really duck hunting, you're pretty stationary in duck hunting. Deer hunting, you're pretty stationary. But like some of the other hunting I do, like coyotes and hogs, we move around a lot. We move from one location to another, so I already knew, have stuff in my pack. If I'm going to be sitting someplace for a while, I can put it on over my clothes or something along those lines. And then when it's time to move again, I can shed it, shove it in my bag, and start moving. Excuse me, and I'll be good to go. So that's some of the stuff to think about when you're out doing this. So right there, the best piece of advice I want to give you is go buy the stuff. Before you go out hunting, before you go do your LARPing or whatever it is you're doing and you're out in the cold, one, look up, there's a chart. The military has a chart out that tells you what clothes to wear and what temperatures and everything else. Is it the Bible? No, but it's a good guide to get at. Have your stuff, look at the temperatures outside, look at the chart, go for a walk. If you're going hunting and you know you're carrying a pack, go ahead and throw a pack on and start carrying it. Get used to carrying the pack. Carrying a pack is a world of difference between just walking out on heel-toe transportation, doing the regular thing, just bebopping through the neighborhood, because that pack will run you down. Plus, you're going to find out if your pack's any good or not. So, but see what your body, how it reacts in that, and that will give you a scale to, like, I've done it in these temperatures, I've done it in these temperatures, I haven't done it in these temperatures, but hey, it's not that big of a difference. I can get away with this, or I need to do this, whatever. Go out and play with it before you head out and get yourself in a bad situation. The main reason I say that is I have had troops be a heat casualty in 22 to 28 degree weather, because granted, where we were at, it was cold in that one event, and it was a snowy ice storm coming in. But they didn't downgrade their clothing enough, or when we stopped to downgrade and told them to downgrade, they wouldn't downgrade. They just kept all those warming layers on. They wound up being a heat catcher because they made themselves too hot. Because when you're moving around, your physical activity, be walking, hunting, running, well, not really hunting, but walking, running, chopping wood, whatever, camp prep stuff, all that crap, you're going to start sweating if you got too much stuff on. And the sweating in the cold, that's even worse, because it can really throw your body into a weird culture deal. But anyway, we got that part covered. So yeah, also other things that were figured out: what gear works, what gear doesn't work. I've carried a military assault pack for God, I don't know how long, and I didn't think I had that much weight in it, but boy, that dude dug into my shoulder. Maybe it was the way I had it adjusted, maybe it was my kit I was wearing, I don't know, but it definitely got my attention on that one. My shoulder was sore for a couple of days, so it gives me something to look at. Playing with my kit, I need to figure that out. Something else I figured out for myself. God, I hate saying this, but yeah, I'm probably going to go back to a drop leg holster. That low ride hip holster with my kit on, I had a hard time getting my pistol in and out, and doing ready up drills with it, and then doing transition drills with it. Yeah, I'm going to go back to a drop leg. Just if I do wind up carrying a pistol, it just make life that much easier, and that's what I'm going to do. Or just an option is not to carry a pistol anymore. So there you go. Either way you go, you figure something out. Talking with one of the other guys that was out there, he was running the red dot. He found out he doesn't like the red dot out there. With some of the shots that we were taking through the woods, and he's trying to see the targets, he goes, I can see the target, but he goes, there's a lot of shots I sent down range at a target. I could tell I wasn't hitting the target because I wasn't able to get the zoom or the magnification or the clarity I needed out of the red dot, and I was hitting trees and stuff around the target instead of hitting the target. So, I mean, guys find stuff out like that all the time when they go out and they go do this stuff. So, I mean, that pretty much, and just for the overall event that we did, our Larping part was just under 4 miles with somewhere between 500 and 700 feet in elevation change throughout the event. Mongo, the truck driver, he's seen that hill, and even the PT stud guys in the group were like, that last part was brutal, dude. Thanks for the opportunity to come out here and find out. And a lot of the guys don't really do PT, and boy, they found out real quick how hard it was. I mean, told me I need to go start putting more cardio into my workout plan instead of just picking heavy stuff up and putting heavy stuff down, trying to get stronger to lug stuff around. So everybody learned something. Play with the LPVO some more out there. The more I play with it, the more I like it, the more I'm starting to be set on LPVOs or MPVOs or something like that for where I'm at is just the way to go. I know I said in my last video, I think I'm pretty much done with the first focal plane, but once again, I find myself back on the fence going either way, so I don't know how to explain that deal. It might just be one of those deals is buy a better scope that's a first focal plane instead of an SLX. Pay attention to what I'm ordering when I'm thinking I'm ordering a GLX or something like that. I couldn't tell you. One of the guys had a 1:8 first focal plane PLX out there, and I got a hold of it, and I was like, that's what kind of flipped me. I was like, God dang it, boy, this is kind of a nice setup too. And it got a little brighter than my SLX did. So I'm like, So there you go. Using other people's stuff, trying your stuff out, you're going to find things. Sooner or later, you're going to find exactly what you want. And that's what I'm doing with some of this stuff. As far as optics go right now, I'm pretty happy with that SIG scope. I think I'm just going to rock it for the next little while and see how it goes, see how it holds up, and all of that good stuff. Now, I know I said in the other videos I was going to take this Kirky style knife made by Kershaw out. I did. Friday night, I had it on a pack, went for a walk in the dark just to do some stuff. And boy, I've got some dislikes on this thing. And the sad thing is it's really not the knife I dislike. It's the sheath. So we'll just cover the things I don't like real quick. The only retention on this sheath is this strap right here. And while I was walking around and I had this lashed onto my pack, which this drop leg bull crap that's on here, I don't think that would make a difference in lashing, but just kind of walking around, you can hear it. It was bouncing around in there. When I was jogging, I could hear it. When I was walking over some rough terrain in the dark, I missed a couple of rocks and stepped, and I could hear that. And if I'm out kind of like trying to do some coyote hunting, moving around, or hog hunting, moving around, I just don't see that being something in my favor. Another thing I don't like is this is the only retention on this thing, and it didn't happen to me, but it's definitely something I see happening, especially the way it's designed with this big flap right here. Flip it around here real quick, but a decent sized limb or something getting underneath there going through the woods, and it just popped that dude right off. And I'm not pushing that hard. I mean, I've pushed myself through brush harder than I'm pushing on this right now. Just pops right off. And I'll be 100% honest with you. Playing with it, since when I first got it and playing with it, that was pretty good. That snap was actually pretty good, but the more I play with it, it's just like any other snap. It's going to get to a break-in point where it's probably going to get a little softer and easier to bust loose than that. And the main reason I don't like this, and I don't like it wobbling around in there, because that means if it's wobbling around here, that means there's no level 1 style retention on it. So if you're walking through the woods and you just happen to fall, and there you go, your knife's gonna fall out, and you're gonna wind up chasing it if you don't lose it or anything like that. A few more things I didn't like about it's on the handle, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm not sure if one's causing another, but right here and right here, when I'm holding the knife like this doing chopping, so I can get that little more throw in the wrist for the chopping, I was getting some hot spots right here and here. I'm honestly thinking what it is right here. Why you put a window breaker style deal on a survival knife, I don't know. But I think this is what was causing extra pressure up here on this finger. But this finger was definitely getting eat up by this one, and that was wearing a pair of gloves. And that is pretty much it for the dislikes. I do like the handle. It's, for me, average sized hand dude, it fits great. It worked. So we did take it out. We did use it. So we'll cover that part real quick. I did chop a couple of trees down with it, 4 to 5 inch trees. And I think it was a total of 3 I chopped down for cooking wood and stuff like that. They weren't stupid hardwoods. I think they were hickory and oak. I think was the two styles I was chopping down. I don't chop pine down for cooking. That makes your food taste like crap. There are some black marks on the blade part itself where it's beveled, but playing with them, it is not chips. It is dirt, or be 100% honest with you, it is probably this coating that is just coming off, and that's just where it decided to rest at and stick to the blade and all of that good stuff. But right off the bat, I did ding it with a rock a couple of times in this area, and it still it's still holding the factory bevel, no issues. But there's the blade. I'll try to give you a decent look at it. Like I said, it didn't chip, it didn't roll. Everything is still pretty straight on it. Even the part that got dinged by the rock is still straight. So huge plus right there. I didn't do a whole lot of research into this knife. I think it's 1077 steel. As far as the batoning went, I was using a piece of oak as a wood to baton with. Like, it's generally one of the better woods to use out there. The spine has, you can see a little bit of a spot in the spine where I would hit it a couple of times. And I mean, you're being physical with the knife. I don't care what coating you put on it, it's going to wear off. It just does it. I mean, every knife I've ever had that's had this coating, it's done it. I haven't seen one that's better than the other from make, model, or whatever. It's this little dulling color does wear off, or what coating does wear off when you use something. But like I said, batoning, no cracks in the spine, no rolling of the spine, no dents or divots or anything in the spine. So man, yeah, it worked out good. The only other downfall I see to this with the curvature of the blade, it's going to be a pain in the ass to sharpen. I'm going to go ahead and call that dude from the shop on Tuesday, see which way he wants to go with this. Depending on the email I get back from Kershaw, because the cool thing is about this weekend, my little brother showed up and he had a knife, pretty much the exact same knife as this. And it was just like that other individual in one of the videos commented on. There's different models of this knife. And man, I'm sorry I didn't bring your name up. I didn't go back and look. So not trying to disrespect you or anything. You made a very valid point. You said this would be a good knife and I'd be happy with it. 100% honest with you, I'm happy with it. But I sent Kershaw an email pretty much explaining my dislike for the sheath, because my little brother's sheath did have level 1 retention, and that's what held it in, and it was doing a really good job. So pretty much I'm kind of where I'm at is if I know I can get a different sheath, just as soon as I figure out how to do it, be good. And I think if I do go ahead, if I can get a different sheath and I go ahead and I keep this knife, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and grind that flat or round it out or something so it's not making a hot spot in my finger when I'm chopping. Oh yes, it is a full tang knife. I did do that much research and all of that good stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, using the knife, other than the hot spots and the sheath, I was really happy with it. It did a really good job. Is it worth $75? Yeah. How long is it going to last? I don't know. Is it going to last 3 years of heavy abuse like my last knife did? I can probably see it doing that, yeah, and probably going a little bit longer. I took that one knife over to Pork Chop and talked with him a little bit, and we figured out where he didn't mess up. I'm the one that messed up in designing the knife the way I did, because he talked to some other people, and I did talk to some other people as well, and showed him pictures of the knife, and where I designed it, where it kind of came in to be narrow to give the blade a little more weight at the end, I designed a weak spot in the knife. So 100% my fault. If you can't own your mistakes, you ain't worth a shit. So that's on me. It's not on Pork Chop Knives, even though their doors are closed, unfortunately. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think I'm going to hang on. I mean, like I said, if I can get a different sheath, I'm definitely going to hang on to it. Is it worth $75? Yeah, I'll say it's worth $75. I don't think of any knife you're going to get a better deal. I mean, you can spend $200 on a knife, and I'll be 100% honest with you, I broke those just as much as I broke one of these $400 knives. I broke those. So, yeah, is it worth $75? I would just recommend trying to get like a level 1 style retention sheath that doesn't have all this nylon crap on it. And like I said, for me, a big knife doesn't go on your body. It goes on your pack. You don't need to take it. It doesn't need to go into everywhere with you. It's on your pack. It's a tool, just like everything else you put on your pack or your e-tool. It's a tool. So I think that's what I'm going to call it, guys. I don't think I got anything else to add on to this one. So y'all have a good one. I am going to go chill out for a little bit and get ready and go to bed and go to work tomorrow. Later.